I've got my first decision to make here, because do you know what it is? Usually we have a wee sort of a platform, and I hate the fact that I can't see everybody at the back, so I'm going to have a complete and utter brass neck here. I'm going to stand in the chair, so I apologise for that. I like to be able to see the people that we're talking to, because this is part and parcel of a grassroots movement here, the likes of which we've not seen in Scotland. The nearest comparator is the poll tax campaign, where hundreds of thousands of people in towns and villages and cities across Scotland get involved in the rebellion against Thatcher and her hated poll tax in the late 80s, early 90s. That was magic. This Yes campaign dwarfs it completely. And what this campaign is all about is about grassroots organisation, grassroots movement. I enjoyed listening to Jim. I've known Jim for many, many years. Very wise man, modern studies teacher, loved modern studies at school, got a lot of time for him. I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely convinced before the 18th of September that we've already won.
Absolutely.
And the reason we've already won is because I listened to what Mary had to say in 19 years of referendum.
Yay!
We've already won. We've already won as a small nation, brothers and sisters, because we have awoken that sleeping giant. We have been able to stimulate debate and discussion and bring forward confidence like that. Mary texted us the other day, would I mind if she said a few words at the start of the meeting? Would I mind? I want her to speak at all the meetings. That's the reality. That's the reality. Each and every one of us here should be proud of the contribution that Mary made at 19 years of age, because that is the confidence that will build a new and a better Scotland. That's the reality, brothers and sisters. It's important that we emphasise at the outset, as Mary and Jim have already done, and I'm going to underline it again, what this referendum is not about. It's not about a political party. It's not about an individual. This referendum on the 18th September is not a barometer of whether you like the SNP, whether you like, loathe or love Alex Salmond. This vote on the 18th of September is about the future of your country. It's bigger than any political party, bigger than any individual. This is a big decision. I've used the analogy before, brothers and sisters, and I apologise for those of you who have already heard it. But imagine that you've had your eye on a wee 3-bedroom house because the local authority's not building enough council houses any longer, so you can't get a decent local authority home at a decent rent that you can afford. So you're forced into the private market, and you've had to save for years because such is the mortgage situation now. But you've saved and you've saved and you've saved, you've worked all the overtime, you've got the deposit, you contact the estate agent, you ask them to show you around this wee house that you've had your eye on. Beautiful garden, lovely big kitchen, 3 big cracking bedrooms. And the estate agent says, you've got the money, you know, you can afford this. And you say, nah, I'm not going to buy it. And the estate agent says, why no? And you say, I don't like the wallpaper. How stupid would that be? It would just be as stupid as deciding that you're not going to vote yes because you don't like Alex Salmond or you don't like the SNP. That's how stupid it would be. The vote on the 18th of September, brothers and sisters, is not about who it is you want to run our country. The vote on the 18th of September is for you to have the right to decide who runs our country. That's what that vote is all about. years from now, in 2016, there will be Scottish general elections in an independent Scotland. Then you can decide who it is runs the country. But only if we're first of all voted for independence. Because if you don't vote for independence, then what you think, what you hope for, what you decide doesn't matter. You see, that's clear what independence is not about. So what is it about? And as far as I'm concerned, this speaking tour that I'm involved in is headlined Hope Over Fear. Hope for the future that we can build in our hearts and in our heads against the fear that's been generated by the Bitter Together campaign that tell you you're no big enough, you're no good enough, you're no rich enough, you're no wise enough to run your own affairs. We believe we are. We believe this vote is quite simply about freedom. Freedom, brothers and sisters, no in the romantic sense of the re-digitised version of Braveheart that's cleverly been marketed at this stage. You know, somebody saw a wee niche in the market there, didn't they? Bring out Braveheart again. Everybody's talking about Scotland. Fair play to them. It's a great wee film. Brothers and sisters, the freedom I'm talking about is real freedom. Yeah. You see, some people say, but Tommy, you know, over-egging the pudding there. You know, we're not exactly locked up, we're not in shackles, we're not in chains, we're not in handcuffs. And believe you me, I know a thing or two about being in handcuffs. And just in case there are any gutter journalists here, none of it for kinky reasons, I've got to say. I know a thing or two about being locked up, brothers and sisters. I'll tell you the freedom that we're fighting for here on 18th of September. I'll tell you the freedom that we can gain for ourselves on 18th of September. Since 1951, Scotland has rejected the greed, the privatisation, the toffee-nosed Tories. From 1951, Scotland has voted against Tory governments. And yet, since 1951, Scotland has had to endure 35 years of Tory governments. You vote for independence on the 18th of September, and you'll not have to endure another Tory government in Scotland, brothers and sisters.
Hey! Hey!
I made that point at a meeting the 23rd of January up in Kirkcaldy. Over 300 people turned up at that meeting. It's since been put on YouTube. 130,000 plus have since watched it. And I said at that meeting that if we vote for independence, we'll never ever get a Tory government again. And somebody contacted me. I used to say a few people contacted me. The truth is, one guy contacted me. That's what Twitter's like nowadays, isn't it? You know, everybody can contact you. And he said, Tommy, he said there'll never be another Tory government in an independent Scotland. Don't you know the Tories get up to 15% in Scottish general elections? There could be a Tory government in an independent Scotland. I'm going to condition what I said. There will never, ever be another Tory government in Scotland after independence unless the people of Scotland vote for a Tory government in an independent Scotland. That's the difference. And there is as much chance of that as there is as hell freezing over or of my hair growing back in. Which of course is absolutely no chance. Brothers and sisters, that's what we mean by freedom. Freedom to decide that the important public services that we rely on, that we value, that we treasure, are going to stay public services, like the health service. You've got the freedom on 18th of September. You've got the freedom to decide that the health service in Scotland is going to stay public, serving the people to the best of its ability, free at the point of need.
Amen.
And no vote signals the end of the public health service in Scotland. And if you don't believe me, please examine the effects of the Health and Social Care Act that has been passed in England by the Westminster government in 2012. The Health and Social Care Act, 455 pages. First 2 pages abolish the legal commitment that has been there for over 60 years to provide free health care to every citizen in England and Wales. Sorry, in England, not been applied in Wales yet. Every citizen in England at a point of need. Abolished. Doesn't exist. The other 453 pages explain the creation of a new internal market in England to provide healthcare. 60 different firms have been invited to provide healthcare services. Royal Bank of Scotland, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Virgin, Atos, companies that have never had any record in providing healthcare are now been invited to bid for the £112 billion budget that the NHS in England has. You go on and listen to Professor Alison Pollock on YouTube, Professor of Health Economics, who explains that the NHS is now being reduced in England to a logo. A logo, that's all it is. They have modelled the Health and Social Care Act on America. That's what they've modelled it on.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you're not well in America and you go to hospital, they don't reach for your pulse, they reach for your wallet. They are going to compel the people of England to take out health insurance in order to pay for health care. Why should that worry us? Why should that affect us? Because the